La Navidad de ese año no comenzó con un abrazo y con un mensaje cálido. Empezó con un texto seco que llegó a las 6:12 de la mañana. Justo cuando servía mi primera taza de café. No vengas a Navidad este año. Todos estamos apertando y tú no. Será mejor que no vengas. Soy Maren Blake, 34 años, contadora senior en Portland. Levo años pagando silenciosamente los imprevistos de mi familia. Facturas atrasadas, reparaciones urgentes, adornos que olvidaron presupuestar. Dejé el teléfono a un lado y abrí la aplicación del banco. $9,200 habían salido de mi bolsillo solo ese año. Todos con mi apellido escrito. En la nota de cada transferencia. En ese momento apareció otra notificación. Catering navideño. $6,800 cargados a mi tarjeta. El correo de contacto era el de mi madre. Me acusaban de no aportar mientras planeaban celebrar con mi dinero. Me habían excluido, pero mantenían mi tarjeta activa como si fuera un fondo comunitario. Antes de seguir, dime desde donde me les y un detalle de tu entorno. Sofá, turno nocturno, plato sin lavar, cualquier cosa. Este relato fluye mejor cuando tu contexto también respira dentro de él. Part 2. Rastreando el dinero. Pasé la mañana revisando movimientos antiguos. Filas interminables de números, pequeñas urgencias que para ellos ya no existen. $200 para la emergencia veterinaria de Lori. $300 para las pastillas de freno de Evan antes de que legra el hielo. $150 para el recibo de luz que mi madre pasó por alto. $400 más cuando la calefacción de Papa Mario en pleno invierno. Siempre el mismo estribillo. Gracias, Maren. Siempre nos salvas. Y yo ingenua creyendo que eso significaba efecto. No me di cuenta de que ellos lo interpretaban como responsabilidad obligatoria. No como ayuda. Al mediodía mi madre mandó una foto grupal. Cajas de adornos y guirnaldas sobre la mesa del comedor. El texto decía. Preparando la Navidad con quienes de verdad aportan. Un corazón al final. En hay una mención de mi nombre. Luego apareció otro cargo. $98 por un juego de cervelitas navideñas. Comprado a las 9:03 am mi chaqueta. Abrí el historial de nuevo. Había decenas de compras que nunca note. La corona del año pasado, la falda del árbol, paquetes de luces. Todas realizadas con una tarjeta guardada que mi madre tomó prestada durante una remodelación, en 2021. La mandíbula es mi tenso. No era yo quien no contribuía. Era yo quien financiaba todo. El teléfono vibró. Lori otra vez. Para que sepas los demás ya Cooper eran. 5 segundos después. Debiste haberlo previsto. Prever. Levo planificándoles la vida desde los 25. Afuera la lluvia resbalaba por el vidrio en líneas finas. Ser las cortinas. Me senté frente al escritorio y abrí mis hojas de cálculo. No para el trabajo sino para ordenar peribas, claridad, la verdad. Ellos fingían ignorancia. Dicen que mi ausencia era el problema. Pero cada transacción contaba otra historia. Ellos creen que yo daba poco. Mis estados bancarios gritaban lo contrario. Al anochecer tenía un archivo completo. 5 pestanas, 12 meses. Cada gasto marcado en rojo. El número que encabezaba la lista era el del catering. $6,800, todo a mi nombre. Pero con un correo de contacto que no era el mío. Part 3. El congelamiento silencioso. Era el de mi madre. El deslizer hacia abajo aparecieron más gastos en rojo. El cuiler de calentadores silas extra, 2 calefactores de exterior, un servicio de limpieza pagado por adelantado para el 26 de diciembre. Todo cargado automáticamente gracias a esa tarjeta guardada desde 2021. El año en que paga un contratista para esos nuevos gabinetes. Ahi debio guardar la información por ese acaso. El estimego así mi revolvio. 43 cargos relacionados únicamente con Navidad. A las 7:14 p.m. marca el banco. La representante me contestó con una voz tranquila. ¿En qué puedo ayudar hoy? Necesito congelar mi tarjeta. Respondí. Completa. Sin permitir que pase nada más. La gente reviso. Vio varios cargos festivos. ¿Usted los autorizó? No. Tratelos como fraude. Todos. Hubo un breve silencio. Estoy registrando cada uno. Espero reembolsos durante el próximo ciclo de revisión. I thanked her and hung up. 2 minutes later, the first notification popped up. Payment failed. Evergreen Catering. Please update your card. Then another. Winterglow Rentals transaction declined. Service will be canceled within 24 hours. Then 6 more in a row. A neat little chain reaction of collapsing plans. At 7:40 a.m. my mom texted Marin. Something's wrong with the card. The caterer said the payment didn't go through. Can you take care of it before tomorrow? I didn't answer. At 8:05 my sister Lori chimed in. Mom says your card bugged out. Can you handle it? We already told everyone Christmas is happening. Still nothing from me. At 8:27 Evan tried. Come on, Marin. You know we're awful with money. Just cover it, we'll pay you back. They never had. Not once in 9 years. I powered off my phone, opened the blinds and watched rain blur the street like ink spreading across paper. For the first time in years, silence had room to breathe. This wasn't revenge. This was correction. Finally adjusting boundaries they'd worn down for almost a decade. Christmas wasn't the illness. It was just the fever that showed something was wrong. By morning, every vendor they'd booked on my card would be gone. Not because I sabotaged anything, but because they built their entire holiday on money that wasn't theirs. I simply stopped being the foundation. If it were your family, what would you do? Comment 1. Keep quiet, avoid conflict. Comment 2. Ask for proof and force the truth into the open. You're watching Echoes of Life and we read every choice. Part 4. Collapse before sunrise. The first cancellation arrived at 6:02 a.m. Evergreen Catering service terminated. Payment unresolved. Minutes later came Winterglow's notice. Heaters, chairs, linens, all revoked. Then the string quartet. Then the decorator. Then the cleaning crew. Every piece they bragged about evaporated before the sun was fully up. My inbox filled with red warning banners. My phone lit up like a distress beacon. Mom called first. I ignored the ringing. Her voicemail trembled. Marin, the caterer said your card got declined. Fix this. People are coming on Sunday. Deleted. Lori next. Her voice sharper, more irritated than worried. What did you do? Mom is freaking out. Just pay the difference, we'll reimburse you. They wouldn't. They never did. Then Evan. Marin, seriously, you're messing up Christmas. Switch the card so they can run the payments. They weren't asking. They were demanding. Like I owed them a holiday. At 7:28 a.m., Mom texted. The caterer says you reported the charges as fraud. Why would you do that? Everything is already planned. I typed a single sentence. I didn't authorize any of these charges. Chaos exploded in the family group chat. Lori. So this is punishment? Mom. The pastor's family is coming. Evan. Are you ever going to act like an adult? My jaw locked. I opened my folder, screenshots, account statements, old payment logs, the year Mom memorized my card without permission. The quiet holiday charges they'd slipped through for 3 years straight. Then I sent one image. A giant red banner. Unauthorized use, card frozen. Mom immediately responded. This is dramatic, Marin. It's just Christmas. Stop overreacting. Be the bigger person. I stared at those words. Be the bigger person. Their favorite phrase meaning. Carry the burden so we don't have to. At 8:10 Lori tried one last time. Christmas is going to collapse if you don't step in. Just pay now, we'll figure it out later. I replied. I don't fund events I'm not invited to. Silence. The kind that finally absorbs truth instead of running from it. They didn't exclude me because I wouldn't contribute. They excluded me because they assumed I always would. This time the money stopped and the holiday stopped with it. Somewhere across town, their house sat waiting. A bare dining table. An undecorated driveway. A tree someone else had to purchase for once. By noon, the texts escalated. They were threatening to come over. So I drove there first. Their street was lined with crooked candy canes and half-inflated snowmen, blinking lights hanging like tired sighs. Forced cheer sagged across every lawn. I parked across their driveway. Before I stepped out, the front door burst open. Mom stood there in a red sweater, mascara smudged, expression hardened. Maren, get inside. We need to talk. I stayed on the porch. The cold air felt cleaner than whatever waited in that living room. The smell of pine drifted from the doorway, blending with old tension. Dad appeared behind her. He didn't look upset, just exhausted. He looked more irritated than worried, like I'd simply thrown off his schedule. Lori lingered near the kitchen entrance, while Evan leaned back against the wall with his arms folded. Mom was the first to speak. You embarrassed us. The vendors called. The pastor called. Everyone knows something's going on. My voice stayed calm. Something is going on. Lori rolled her eyes. You twist everything. You froze the payments. You made Mom cry, she added. Just admit it. I lifted the folder I'd brought. Inside were printed statements, every unauthorized charge marked in bright lines like flashing sirens. You used my card. Mom stepped closer. We've always used it for Christmas. You know that. You've always helped. No, I said. I've always paid. Dad let out a breath. Maren, stop turning this into drama. This is family. Family shares. I met his gaze. Family doesn't decide who's welcome based on how much money they contribute. He flinched barely, but enough. Lori snorted. You weren't uninvited. You were redirected. Say it, I said. Say uninvited. She didn't. Evan stepped in, trying to smooth things over. Okay, yes, feelings got hurt. But Christmas still needs to happen. Just turn the payments back on. No. Mom's voice wavered. Maren, please. We already told people. We can't cancel Christmas. I opened the folder and pointed to the red highlighted charges. You canceled it the moment you spent my money without permission. Dad's jaw clenched. You're acting entitled. Entitled? I almost laughed. I'm protecting my account. That's the opposite. So what now? Lori said. Arms crossed, chin high. We're supposed to rebuild all of this from scratch? Yes. Mom shook her head. This isn't like you, Maren. It's exactly like me, I said. A person with boundaries. A person, not a debit card. Silence settled, thick and unfamiliar. For once, they had no rehearsed lines, no guilt scripts, no easy excuses. Just the evidence I'd brought and the truth they didn't want to face. I closed the folder, zipped my coat, and stepped toward the doorway. You asked who ruined Christmas, I said. Check your statements, not me. I walked down the steps. No one came after me. A moment later, the door closed softly, hesitant, like a truth they weren't ready to face. They didn't lose Christmas. They lost their access to me. Part 6. A different Christmas. Christmas morning was still. Not lonely, just clean, uncluttered. A kind of quiet that didn't brace for anyone to call or demand anything. I brewed coffee, turned on a small lamp, and watched snow drift past the window like slow-floating ash. No frantic messages. No guilt. No fix this texts. Just calm. Around 9 a.m., a knock sounded. Gentle, not urgent. It wasn't my family. It was my neighbor, Mrs. Langford, holding a tin of cookies. We're having a small Christmas breakfast downstairs, she said. You're welcome to join, only if you want to. A warmth rose in my chest, new, unfamiliar. Not obligation. Invitation. I went. The lobby smelled of oranges and cinnamon. Kids ran around wearing paper crowns. Someone's uncle played soft jazz on a keyboard. People joked, chatted, enjoyed each other. No one asked for a card. No one measured my value by what I could cover. I was simply welcome. You look lighter today, Mrs. Langford said, handing me a plate. I feel lighter, I answered. Later I walked along the river. The water moved slow and steady, like it carried a wisdom I was just starting to understand. And the truth settled quietly inside me. I didn't lose my family. I lost the illusion of one. And in return I found something better, boundaries, belonging elsewhere. A Christmas made without debt or pressure or performance. Worth more than any table they'd expected me to fund. I paused on a bridge. Snowflakes gathered on the railing, cold, bright, beautiful in their own time. Just like beginning again. Some holidays break you. Others finally set you free.